Okay, Philip, you're back. And you're
Yay!
live. Wonderful.
Boom.
Oh,
Boom.
there, and you should be able to see a view at the top. Well, welcome everyone. I'd love to get started. My name is Anne Marie Mavis. I am the Chief Marketing Officer of BranchUp, and I am delighted to welcome all of you to our very first Power Up webinar by BranchUp. We'll be running these webinars hopefully every 2 weeks, but we actually have 2 more scheduled in June, one on June 19th with Swan Hellenic, which is one of our newest partners, and one on June 26th with both Emerald and Scenic Luxury Cruises. So please join us for those webinars as well. And please take a look at your newsletter every month where we'll be promoting these webinars, which are really webinars about BranchUp, how you can get the most out of BranchUp, our platform, our new products and services that are coming out, and of course, information and product information about our suppliers who support us, and that we are very grateful for their support. So today's webinar is our very first, as I said, and I'm delighted to introduce our panelists who actually are members of BranchUp's new advisory council. And we just started this council about 3 months ago. And for those of you in the chat room, please know if there's any interest in joining our advisory council, we do look at applications from this point forward. So feel free to let us know if you'd like to be a member of our advisory council who helps guide us on both our new products and our services, as well as our partners. So we do have a chat room. I am sorry that we're not able to see all of your beautiful faces. We're having a little technical difficulty since this is our very first, so bear with us. But we can see your names and we can hear from you in the chat room. So please, throughout the webinar, which will be 1 hour, please feel free to ask questions of our panelists. And we also have our customer service team, along with Michelle Pinard, who is, you can see, Michelle, just do a wave. Michelle is head of our creative services, and they will be helping answer all the questions if they're directed more to BranchUp's procedures and policies. Our panelists are really going to answer questions in regard to your marketing and operation of BranchUp to your consumers. So without further ado, let me please introduce Sandy Anderson. Sandy, you want to give a wave with Solid Experience? Denise Wiggins with Current Travel, Philip Archer with Roaming Richly Travel, and Shelby Frenette with travelfund.biz. So thank you so much for being with us. I'd like the panelists to take a minute and just tell the audience a little bit about themselves, because we feel that peer-to-peer learning is the greatest learning for a travel advisor. So I want you to hear their experience, not just with BranchUp, but also their experience in the industry. So Sandy, let's start with you, please.
Thanks, Anne Marie. Hi, my name is Sandy Anderson, and I have been in the industry since 1986. I opened up a traditional brick and mortar agency and grew that business over the years and opened up many branches, and we closed some branches and had a large storefront and many independent contractors. In 2018, I was a signature travel agency office, and I sold my agency and decided I wasn't done. And now I started a new agency about 2 years ago, and I now am a virtuoso office with Montecito Village as a branch, and I now have about 20 experienced full-time independent contractors that are from LA to New York. They run their own businesses under their own brands. And my role to them is to help facilitate their business. They use my credentials and I help them with their day-to-day operations because of my experience I have. So it's wonderful to be here. I love BranchUp and I'm excited for being on this panel because I think everyone comes from a different place, and it's really a great tool that I've been able to incorporate with my team. So thank you, Anne Marie.
Thank you so much, Sandy. And we'll go in alphabetical order. So Philip, may we hear from you?
Absolutely. Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for being here with us today. My name is Philip Archer, as Anne Marie mentioned earlier, and I have been an serial entrepreneur for almost 35 years, accidental travel agent. So, I was in real estate, luxury real estate, travel, mortgage, lifestyle type things for a long, long time. And my ex decided we wanted to, have a travel agency. And so I did some research and started a cruise planners franchise. We had that for 15 years, went independent during the pandemic, which was interesting. And we're now completely independent. Well, we're independent and we are affiliated with the Westa Consortia. And so it has been a really interesting ride for me. Coming from the real estate background, we're always looking at ways to be more efficient. And so for me, BranchUp was just a no-brainer when they were able to say, hey, we can post content for you regularly when you're busy. So if I'm accompanying a group overseas or doing something like I just did for 3 weeks, my BranchUp was posting the whole time for me. So I come to the industry, it will be 20 years next year, so we'll celebrate our anniversary with a lot of entrepreneurial experience and a lot of social media experience. And so I love the fact that BranchUp has allowed me the opportunity to be in front of my people, regularly, no matter where I am. I can be asleep and it's posting for me. So I'm glad to be here, thrilled to be part of the panel, and looking forward to getting some great information out to y'all today.
Thank you so much, Philip, and welcome, Shelby.
Hi, everyone. I'm so delighted to be here. I love social media because that's how I started my business. And I love teaching travel agents how to leverage social media because we need that marketing support because we're doing so many things. My background is actually, any of you remember the Love Boat? That's really what I did. I was the real Julie McCoy, cruise director. And I did that for many years. And then I hosted thousands of singles. So I really, really did the Love Boat for real. That's how I started. Then that's actually how I got into social media because it was just a very organic platform as a cruise director to move from the stage to a social media platform just to get the messaging out quicker, right? I would only have to, instead of answering 500 times, I would only have to answer, 250 times. So that's how I got into social media. And I recognized very early on that this is a platform for small businesses. It's like a commercial for small businesses. I recognized the marketing opportunity very, very early on and switched into marketing, got certified for digital marketing with Cornell University, took it very seriously, did all the certifications you could. And that's how we built our business. I now own a host agency called travelfun.biz, where your fun is our biz. And we have 23 agents, and we actually design our whole entire company around social media marketing first before we train anything else out, because it's my belief that it's great to be able to figure out how to sell travel, but you really need to learn how to market and get customers. And BranchUp is the only platform, and this is just the God's honest truth, the only platform that I've ever spent any time in deciding to continue it, because so many other platforms try to be what this is, and this is the real McCoy. So all of my agents use it, and I'm so happy to be a part of this amazing team and board.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Shelby. We so appreciate that. We're going to, and we truly appreciate the commercials, but we're really going to get into how you use BranchUp and what tips you can give to our wonderful attendees. And we have almost over 200, although 1,000 registered. So I think that we'll be seeing more and more come in. Last but not least, my dear friend, Denise Wiggins from Current Travel. Denise.
Hello, everyone. This is Denise Wiggins, and I am all about the fun, the love, and the joy of the travel industry. It is in my DNA. I'm quite certain it's in everyone else's DNA. We don't stay in it if we didn't. I have been in the industry since 1985. I've had the pleasure of a variety of different capacities. I worked for a prominent hotel, corporate headquarters hotel chain. I also had the pleasure of working at the American Society of Travel Agents, the leading trade association for both travel advisors and suppliers. I was the travel trade director on a global basis. If you've ever been to a World Travel Congress back in the day, that was part of what I did. And I was also staff liaison for the ASTA Global Chapter Presidents, as well as a variety of other things. After that, I jumped into corporate travel in a marketing communications capacity around the world. And then I moved into owning my own businesses way back in the day, keeping travel as part of that, some other additional things. And in the last 12 years, I've been an independent global travel advisor. My niche is in the wellness, but I sell all global products within travel industry. I am part of the Global Wellness Institute and their sub with travel, wellness, and health span. So it's an interesting and booming multi-billion-dollar industry in itself, and we're part of that slice. And I am also a trusted leader, thought leader, and tap for various media and platforms to do representing on behalf of our industry, like many of you, I'm sure. And with regard to BranchUp and social media as a whole, because that's what you want to understand what more is going on. We are going to dive into that. But for me personally, I've been a half a year with BranchUp, testing the waters, checking it out. I collaborate and curate with about 32 other independents. I am affiliated with Kieran Travel in Bluebell, Pennsylvania. But ultimately, as you know, social media can go with us anywhere around the world. So we're going to dive in. Thanks, Anne-Marie.
Thank you so much, Denise. And as you can hear, we have a variety of experience, such a wealth of knowledge, which is why they're on our advisory council. So let's get started. Philip, I think you were one of the first in terms of the panelists to join BranchUp. Do you want to just give us an idea of the features and how you use them, kind of how you begin your day with BranchUp and social media?
Absolutely. And yeah, I was one of the lucky ones. I think y'all started in Canada. And then, I have friends and I was like, what is this? What's going on? And so when y'all started launching the United States, I was lucky to be one of the first ones out there on BranchUp and have loved it. Just to give you all an idea, they're using BranchUp. When I started, like BranchUp would give us maybe a couple of posts a week, right? It was new, it was young, they were playing with it. And since then, now we've been able to incorporate the Instagram falling off of your Facebook business page, also LinkedIn. They're working on Reels. So the tool has grown. The platform has grown enormously since it started. The way that I use BranchUp today is that, it's very much like, for me, I think it's really, really important to use it as a tool to build rapport, to keep in front of your people. I had the wonderful fortune years ago to host a radio and television show in Dallas. And I was like, wait a minute, why am I doing this? I'm investing an enormous amount of time and all I'm really getting is content. Well, then people were calling me because they would see me and they would think that's an expert, right? They would see me on TV or hear me on the radio and they would be like, we want to talk to you because you know what you're talking about. So it's really about developing and installing a rapport with the people who follow you. And the way I utilize that is every Sunday night or every Monday morning, I'll sit down and I'll go into my BranchUp platform and I'll look at the posts that are coming up for the week and I'll go in and customize those posts. So for example, I just got back from 3 weeks in France, back-to-back river cruises with our Roaming With Us groups. And now when I see that Ammo Waterways, Burgundy and Provence pop up, I can tweak that verbiage and say, hey, you guys, I just got back from this and it was amazing. And then whatever BranchUp has already put in there for me. So those little tweaks that let people know that you're actually there, that it's not just an automated system, help you develop and build that rapport and also be seen as an expert. I also, put in my own hashtag. So, Roaming Richly, we use Roaming Richly hashtag, enriched hashtag travel, things of that nature, as well as maybe a destination. So if it's Portugal, I might put in the hashtag Portugal or Douro River or things like that, or river cruise, just to beef up the exposure of that particular post to the people that I'm looking for. And so I know what hashtags are important to my business and the target that I have, and I try to use those regularly in my BranchUp platform. The next thing that I also do is, and many of you may not know this, but BranchUp actually has a newsletter. And I go in every 2 weeks when BranchUp sends out the newsletter, and I pull 3 or 4 days after the newsletter goes out, I pull my statistics for that newsletter. And what it's allowed me to do post-pandemic is take all of those databases of email addresses that we all keep and say we're going to use someday, and go through them and get rid of the ones that aren't any good because it shows this is a bounce, it's a hard bounce, that's not a good email address. So I get rid of those. And then I also monitor my soft bounces. So I look at things like, hey, this person's soft bounce for the last 4 newsletters. They're not ever going to read this newsletter. It doesn't make any sense for me to pay to keep them in a system because I'm able to use this list for other things as well. So it's a great tool for me because it's taken a lot of my very laborious work and created a venue for me to do it very quickly. So I maybe invest an hour a week in BranchUp, and yet it's giving me 24/7, 365 access to clientele.
Wow, those are some great things. And I love that you start on Sunday night and actually customize the posts. Not every advisor does that, but I think we do see better results when the advisors do customize. Shelby, do you want to add to that, just in terms of the importance of social media and then some of the tactical things that Philip was talking about?
Sure. What I would really say that he touches upon, and I can't impress this enough upon all of you here, is that even if this one little post here or one post there doesn't convert immediately, being in front of your people is really, really effective. It causes that rapport that people are looking for. And it's also, again, a little bit of a commercial, right? Because they see it go by and you're attached to it. And then when they are looking for travel, then poof, here you go. I'm going to think of XYZ travel, or I'm going to think of whoever has been posting the most, and BranchUp is posting a lot for you. So this auto posting tool, and it works so well, it doesn't get kicked out. A lot of auto posting tools you get kicked out of. You have to reignite them all the time. They don't have what BranchUp has as far as technology goes. This is really like set and forget it. You can customize, which of course is always a better thing to do. But also, if you're really, really busy and that's just not your thing, like honestly, I don't customize because I don't have the time. And I would love to share, if you'd like, there was someone on my team that had an auto posting for LinkedIn. She has not been on LinkedIn for years, really actively. She just connected it. And because BranchUp posted a bunch of Antarctica posts, one of her clients emailed her, and these were the exact words. So thank you so much for posting all that stuff on LinkedIn. I want to book an Antarctica trip. And that ended up resulting in an $80,000 booking. And now that's not typical. We were all like, what? But again, just to impress upon you, being seen again and again and again, it's really important. And I know we don't have a lot of time to also constantly post. So this kind of fills in the gaps for me and my team. Whereas I do believe you should absolutely be posting your curated content. But this is just like, it's such a gap filler, and it's not a cost to you. So it's a no-brainer.
Thank you so much. Go ahead, Sandy.
Yeah, Shelby, has that agent ever sold in Antarctica before?
So she had not. No, that was the first Antarctica trip she had ever sold.
I think sometimes when we do our posts, we always are in our comfort zone like we are normally, and we would post something that we are used to selling. And the fact that there's, advisors that are on my team and that are out there now are aspirational advisors. They're aspiring to sell something else or change it to a different, maybe they want to do that type of booking. And it's a great thing to have content that reaches our customers that we don't typically have in front of us.
You're exactly right. I mean, it would have never probably come up as a post that she would do repeatedly as well. That's the other thing. Like, what are we focusing on? We usually focus on what we know, just like you said. But this gives such an opportunity to outreach a little bit. And as everybody knows, it's nice to be in a niche. However, if you're going to build a business with this, you really have to have that top of funnel pretty broad. You can't just be a niche. You have to be a lot of things, because you don't want to sell a Caribbean cruise to your client and then see that they went to Alaska with somebody else or by themselves, right? You just want to make sure you can be broad in that top of funnel sales. So such a great point, Sandy.
Yeah,
it is a great point. Sandy, you're one of our newer members to BranchUp. Do you want to make any comments about how you're using it or why you joined?
Well, first of all, I joined because I don't have a lot of time to build content, and I want my advisors to be out there and have rich, beautiful content. There's other resources, but this seems to be the resource that seems real professional and easy to use. And when I say easy to use, we can go on and you can see a full, and I'm sure people on this webinar know that you can go on and you can deselect or select what you want. And we've done really cool things like block space on Virgin Voyages, and I see that there's some posting coming up, and so we utilize the content in that posting and reuse it to try to fill our group space. That's one thing we've used. I also like to use it on my business page, and then have my team put it on their personal page too, to keep this great rich content all over. But I think the pictures are great, the stories are great. I want to aspire to be like Phil. That's my goal, is
Yeah, me too.
spend an hour and do what he's doing. But if you don't have that hour that week, like Shelby said, it's still doing it for you. So that's kind of, and I've also started the LinkedIn. I'm very cautious of LinkedIn. I think LinkedIn is our future. It seems like a lot more people are on it. It's very professional. So I want to control that. I'm a control freak, and I like that we can control BranchUp. So that's how I like it, Anne Marie.
Well, you're a very nice and graceful control freak, but so Denise, would you like to add anything to why you joined and how you're using BranchUp?
Yeah, thank you. I think what's really important too is, we are talking about social media. BranchUp is a social media platform. And I think, whether you've been around or you're just in or you're still dabbling, at the end of the day, depending on how you show up in your day-to-day with travel, whether you're an independent or otherwise, you are still the CEO of your personal brand. And you want to remember that, because everything and anything that's attached to you and what you do, you wish to want to have it as very professional as you possibly can. And that's everything from your profile photo to the name of your business page, what you're posting in general outside of things that you're using to help you market and so forth. So this is a whole, this is a virtual storefront. We actually, it's a gift. I know social media, people can think like, wow, it's just so taxing that I don't have the time. But if you flip that narrative, and if you really start thinking about, the positivities of an extended marketing arm, which is how I see BranchUp. BranchUp is a blue M&M for me. If you've ever heard that analogy, a blue M&M, I love blue M&Ms. Blue M&Ms are the people that you're maybe part of your niche or your avatar or who you're looking for. They appear. And maybe it's part of the meditation that I do and the manifestation, but I will tell you, the time that I've already been with this, with BranchUp, and how it's like a virtual storefront for me, and it's showing me folks that I had not seen before, so to speak. I knew they existed, but they really weren't actively engaging. So between Linked Up and my business page, as well as my timeline, say all three of those get to be a part of this system, I am finding high benefit. And the benefit is coming from BranchUp gives us statistics. We have a dashboard, and every week I get an update. How many views? Who commented? I actually get it in real time if you turn your notifications on, whether it be BranchUp or other things you're using. Make sure your notifications are turned on. You will get where you can, success leaves clues, right? So if you're getting a lead who is commenting, even if it is, something very, very simplistic, maybe it's not like, hey, I'm interested in Antarctica, whatever the post from BranchUp might be, because it's a visual, we're all storytellers. It's a visual story. You can still have that opportunity to step in and say, hey, I saw you saw my post, or, thank you so much for commenting, or you can quickly look at their timeline. It might be their birthday, for God's sakes. And you could say, happy birthday. Thanks for, looking at the post. So I'm having fun with it. I think that's an important step here, is not to like, oh, it's arduous or anything. It's not, it's the opposite. It's quality, it's consistency, and it's streamlined.
Denise, I love that you use that the description of somebody as CEO. I remember I used to know a speaker, and she used to say, "You're the CEO of YOU," and no matter who we are in the industry, that is who we are, right? We are the brand. We are the product that people are buying. We may be introducing them to a vendor, but we're the product and we're the brand. And I would love to say too, I predict in 6 months, Shelby's going to be the one that is, coming to us with new tricks on how to change her posts because she had that $80,000, that she's got that experience with that $80,000 Antarctica booking. That's what it took for me. For those of you who are brand new in the industry and you've got time, this is a great way to spend your time to get your name out there. And so I encourage you to start using it more now. For those of you who've been around for a long time and you've got a busy business, we've been hectic. It's been crazy. We've been having to just answer the phone and get stuff done. And so you may not have that time, but I promise you, at some point, you're going to get a phone call. And I don't know if it's going to be 6 months or a year, but just like me and Shelby have said, you're going to get a phone call that says, I want that tour. And you're going to think to yourself, oh, I need to qualify this client. No, they want that tour. Just go book them on that tour. That's what they want. And then you got, when I got a paycheck because somebody did that, I went, I need to reinvest that paycheck in time into my BranchUp platform because it's delivering for me. And then two, the 3 weeks I spent in France, I didn't have time to do anything. So all I had to do was reels, and BranchUp did everything else for me. So, it is a great way when you're getting started or wherever you're at to grow your visibility.
Thank you, Philip. And stay tuned for Reels because that should be coming out in July. So we are working on that. But I can't speak about it other than to say stay tuned. Shelby, you were talking a little bit about the social media and in general, and I see some questions in the chat room about algorithms and
Yeah, I
where
saw
you
that
should
too.
be. Yeah, so I know that you're really an expert in that area. Do you want to comment about that?
I love this question. Okay, so here, let me lay it out. All right. I first have to just preface this since most of you don't really know me. I haven't just worked in social media for travel. I've worked with many, many businesses and doctors, surgeons, politicians. I've worked on many accounts, especially during COVID, by the way. So my social media marketing business blew up. So I have experience in a lot of these areas. And there's always a guru, okay? And this almost frustrates me to no end because I know how busy travel agents are. And these gurus, first of all, they better be in travel before they give you an opinion, because so much of what they say is really just to get hired. And that's not my game. Right now, we're here on our own time, on our own dime. And we're here because we care about the travel industry and we care about how you can make more profit. And we know that we're not going to get your clients. There's enough travelers for everyone. But we understand, the 6 of us here, that social media can help build your business and help people that didn't even know needed your help. So number one, before you listen to any guru, are they in travel? Do they own a travel agency? Are they anything in travel? Because if they're giving you advice and they're so much of a confidence in their direction, who are these people? Because I have heard so much misinformation and it drives me crazy because I know how hard you guys work. I know how invested we are in our clients and how little time we have. And I hear a lot of people telling people about the algorithm and don't follow other people on Instagram because it makes you look like you're not a real thing. First of all, ask yourself, number one, who are these people? Number two, where are you? Are you an influencer? Are you a Kardashian? Probably not. So most of these big choices of direction on where your business should go and what you should do at your social media platform is just incorrect. And they're leading you down a path that is only really going to be leading to maybe money in their pocket for you to hire them. So please be careful, consider the source. The algorithm always changes. So nobody's got a hold on that, number one. It's changing all the time. And the reason it's changing all the time is for this basic concept. Social media was meant to be social. It wasn't meant for sales, really. It really was meant to make, if you did an interesting thing, if you said something interesting that people were affected by, there would be more eyeballs on it because the engagement was higher. Now, we do artificially sort of, promote this. And this is a little hack. It's a hack. It's a marketing hack. Do I know how long we'll be able to do this? Probably not for infinity, because AI does get aware of what we're up to, but that's why we always have to keep changing it up. Changing your content is so important, and creating engaging content is so important. And I have definitely told Michelle here on the bottom right that she's in charge of the content creators. As someone who has been here since the beginning and done successful, and really is one of the originators that was really successful from organic marketing. I didn't have a lot of money. They produce some of the engaging content that actually gets more engagements than what I've done. So that's what I would say about the algorithm. Anyone telling you this, ask those 3 questions. Who are these people? Are they in travel? And do they really know what they're talking about? Because honestly, they could just be leading down a path of trying to get your money. The algorithm is always changing. So the answer to that is, number 1, the basics. Keep your posts public. You have a business page. That's what BranchUp needs to post on. You can definitely cross promote, and if you're not cross promoting these business posts to your personal page, in my opinion, you're cutting your marketing off at the knees. If you're also doing things privately and you just want to be friends only, I would beg you to reconsider for your business's life, because nothing on Facebook or nothing on any social media platform is actually private. So please run your business like a professional, where you're on a stage, you are presenting, and anything you would say to us could be emotional or could be intense, but it's on stage. You have to remember that as a professional. So I would say for the algorithm hacks right now, it's very important just to ask questions. You can utilize BranchUp's professional posts, and you can repost them, even copying and pasting some of the things that they've done on your business page to your personal page. That's a fantastic, quick, easy, not thinking approach. They've already done it, and then you do it again on your personal page. You could share it, but algorithmically speaking, not as great for when you share as when you post originally. So I say that the 2 hacks I would just give you is make sure everything is public, and then cross promote to your personal page from your business pages that you're attached to LinkedIn.
I think too, we've gotten away from asking for likes and shares. And I think we need to revisit that, because likes and shares does impact how
Yep.
much visibility your post gets. So, I used to always say, hey, this is great, share, share, share. And I'm having to remind myself to do that now. So let's not forget to do that. Like your friend's post, share it, ask for likes and shares. Those are super, super important. And Shelby, too, to go along with ignoring the algorithm. When somebody talks to you about algorithm, number 1, remember that we all here told you to just forget it. Don't just ignore them. But the second thing I will say is, where else can you get access to almost 3 billion people? So,
Right.
Excuse me, Philip.
Oh, sorry, yes.
Excuse me, Philip, I think some people are having trouble hearing you, so I don't know if you can raise the mic a little bit, but somebody asked if you could speak up. Sorry to interrupt you.
Is this better? Is that
I
better?
hear you fine.
Okay, cool. Is that
Yeah,
better?
that's good.
Okay, cool. All right. So I was just talking a little bit about asking for shares and likes, and we've gotten away from that. We need to be doing that more. And when you're thinking about the algorithm, we've told you to ignore it, because it is going to change and you're wasting your time.
It is.
Yeah, unless you're a computer scientist.
Right.
And I have one as a tenant in San Francisco, and let me tell you something, he's way above my pay grade. So, not even going there. But the point I'm trying to make is that where can you get access to 3 billion people? So I looked up figures this morning, and right now Facebook has 2.9 billion users worldwide. Instagram, 2.43 billion users worldwide. LinkedIn, 1 billion users worldwide. So if you ask yourself, how do I get access to those people? You could spend $250 million to buy the Super Bowl ad, right in the middle of the half, time game, if you have $250 million to spend. Or, you could do something a little more reasonable, like put social media to work for you and your business.
And collaborate. Like, social media is about collaboration. That is what it's about. And I think this is a really important concept, is that, this is, especially if you're on a team, if you have other people in your team, there's enough travelers for everyone. The travelers that you know are going to want to book with you. So don't think it's competition. Think about collaboration. That's really the difference of the marketing mindset and social media. It's not a one-man show. You can like your people's posts. You know, it's okay. It's okay. It's not a competition. You're not going to be going after the same people. So collaborate in social media. Connect with us. Connect with us. We're happy to collaborate.
I was chatting with you, Shelby, on yours.
Yeah, this whole idea of competition, that's kind of like old school thinking. The new way of promoting, and the algorithm loves this, is when we all collaborate and like each other's and comment and give each other love and support each other's businesses. And while I understand, you know, there is some sort of competition out there, there shouldn't be within your team or within your division. So you guys should be connecting with us and with those people and collaborate with each other, love on each other's stuff.
Absolutely.
add in
Sandy, go
here-
ahead.
I've noticed
Go
that
ahead, Sandy.
Diane has commented a few times on here, Diane Bullock. She's some people have asked about how to cross post, and she has a really good comment here that she opens the link, copies and pastes into her personal groups, then remove all the URL, and in the picture will stay. Or you can just share your BranchUp post to your personal. That's what cross posting means, if that's a term that people haven't heard before. I think one thing with my team is we're very aspirational, and most of our business is friends, family, referrals. And that referral piece is huge to have the BranchUp support your personal Facebook, because the referral person will look you up and they will see it. And so you have a new contact that is not only have they come referral from maybe a Facebook group or a friend of an established client. So it gives you credibility as well. That's why I really appreciate people asking about algorithms, because that's what I confirm in my world, because I'm not a techie, is algorithms to me is referral and recommendations and being out there with my brochure, and then doing some tactical things. You want to make sure that you are aware of your promotions and what promotions that BranchUp has for us, because if you go into the vendor page, there's some great promotions in there that you may not be able to have access to if you weren't part of BranchUp. And I don't want to put on a huge commercial, but I'm going to say it's really great. So make sure you're looking at some of those promotions that you can take and run with and say, this is my promotion because of who I am, you know. So
Well, Sandy, I think that's such an important point, and Shelby, you were making it as well, is that, you know, sometimes we get questions, well, the travel agent down the street has the same post, but it's on your Facebook page with your followers.
Exactly.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, you got to really think of this big picture. Like, who are these people? Like, are there that many people seeing the same post and going, oh no, Sally's got the same one as Ken over there? No person in their regular life is saying that. So that's a very odd comment to me from the outerlings. I call it the peanut gallery because the peanut gallery doesn't pay me. So, you know, but you got to remember, consider the source, but your friends, your network, what you're seeing. And tactically, I don't know if I made this clear because I get really excited about sharing social, but Sandy hit the nail on the head. And when you share or even repost, as you had mentioned in the comments, making it public is important, because then your friends and family can share to their network, which leads to the referrals that Sandy's discussing. So please consider posting public on your page so that if it gets shared or liked, or when someone comments, their friends of friends may see it. You cut yourself off at the knees with the marketing if you hold it down there and you keep it private. So that's something I think is important to mention to those that are new.
Thank you. Denise, I know you wanted to make a comment, please.
Yeah, I'd like to just, you know, I think what's really important, again, going back to the CEO of your own business, you know, stay in your own lane. Because when you stay in your own lane, you get the business done. You engage, you stay focused, you're committed, you're consistent, you're diligent, you're taking the onus and the responsibility. You don't just post and wait. I get excited about, you know, various things that are happening. I'm checking out followers and clients and their friends as to, you know, what's happening out into the universe. Don't forget the hashtags. Don't forget to search. You know, you can put in various key components, key words that will bring up, you know, what the topic of the day is or what the travel destination is. But you have that responsibility to, you know, really wear that CEO hat. And I definitely believe in referrals. I incentivize. So I am all about the referrals. I am very proud of how I do my business with referrals. I do it through a variety of different ways. And I can utilize the posts that are coming through in this particular marketing platform, which is BranchUp. There's a number of ways that I can lift and I can, you know, say, hey, did you see the post I put out today? I thought of you. Oh my gosh, weren't we just talking about that the other day? Didn't you say you wanted to go there for your anniversary? You know, maybe you did it, but they'll say, well, no, but you know what? I'm thankful that you called. And yes, I did see that post. So build in some time. Don't make it something that is where you exhaust yourself thinking about, oh my God, I got to do that. It's part of doing business. And I know you guys have it in you. And I know many of you are doing it and you're having success.
And
Absolutely.
Denise
That's
is saying
great.
it great too. I'm so sorry, Philip. I'm going to let you in on this, but Denise gave you an example of what I saw in the comments that said, I have a lot of engagement when I deep dive into social, but no sales. Someone said that. And I wanted for you guys to touch upon that. I'll just start and you guys continue, you know, but ask a question and don't be the bad salesperson that's just looking for the sale, that walks in and just shoves their business card in someone's face, so to speak. Like, hey, get on this trip. Hey, do you want to buy something from me? That's not social. That's not how social sales work. It's about curiosity marketing. And then if you're having a lot of engagement, then that's the time to ask a question, just like Denise was just explaining in that conversational, just like you were together, like, oh, hey, yeah, didn't you want to do that for your anniversary? Blah, blah, blah. Let them ask you to book a trip. You don't have to be the one that's always on them, but this is about being social. So it's creating rapport. It's asking a lot of questions. And just like a bad, you know, if you're dating someone, you don't, a single guy going into a bar, just screaming at the top of his lungs, like, who wants to date me? No, why don't you go up to the bar? Hey, how's it going? You look nice. Can I buy you a drink? You know what I mean? Like, you got to get there. So Philip, please help us on that, because I think that's very important.
Yeah, I
Oh, are
love
you
it.
asking Philip to help on the matchmaking.com or on the?
She just knows that I know how to come up with a deal closer. No, no. So it's Shelby, I love that. I call it rapport and repeat. And so, you know, let's give them an example and y'all help me out. Okay, so you've got a post up there and it's got a beautiful beach, and one of your friends says, "Oh, I so wish I could go to that beach." So what do? You ask them a question. Hey, what is it about that beach that's calling you? You know, and then they go, wow, what is it about that beach that's calling me? And they go, I don't know. I'm sitting here and it's wintertime and I'm freezing and I just want to go somewhere warm. Really? Well, when was the last time you went somewhere warm? Tell me about some of the great places you've gone, right? I'm asking questions. I'm not asking for a sale immediately, right? And, you know, and this can go on for days because it's on social media, right? And so you've got that little, ooh, ah, and then like 2 days later, it's like, oh, they answer and you do that. And then you go back and the next thing you know, they're like, could you send me some information? Absolutely. I consider it a contest with myself to see if I can get them to ask me before I ask them. So if and if I do ask them, I'm going to private message them. I also want to go back to when Denise was talking about cross promoting and sharing. A great way too is to, when somebody likes your post and they go, hey, this is really wonderful, I would love to go there, share that post. Or when they've talked to you before and said, I love beaches, share that post in their private messenger. Send it to them and go, hey, did you see this? I was just thinking of you because you're always talking about the beach. So there's lots of ways to engage people. Y'all jump in.
I love it, but I think Denise's turn. Go for it, Denise.
Well, I think the positive thing here is, you know, you can light up and have a lot of fun with this. And I really want to put an emphasis on that because it is fun. And what I love social, I'm very similar to my colleagues here that, you know, it is a social thing, but I'm social also right here in my own home and in my own community. And, you know, like I literally, I will look at what's going to be coming up. And I do have a variety of different, I guess I will use the word tchotchkes, you know, that I've collected, whether it's the Eiffel Tower or, you know, this, that, or the other. And I will hand those out when I hear people talk about travel. And I have gotten trips from that, literally. Like they remembered me, didn't even have my name, but they did remember me. And there's just a way to take the platform and apply it to your additional life as you're going out and about, because I hope that you are out and about in your communities, in your Facebook pages and your groups and so forth. I will say I have actually shared some of these posts in some groups that I'm in where you are allowed. So you want to make sure that you can, if you see a conversation that is about XYZ, because remember, it's kind of less about your brand and you're sharing something about, hey, you know, you were talking about a cruise and you wanted an adults only. Well, there are some out there. Want to share it. I love that because then it takes off, like Philip said, it'll be like 238 comments later. I might not immediately see any business, but I got engagement and I will play off of that. So there's a lot around that, and playing off of scenarios where I want to go back to commenting. Please be timely in seeing those, because you will, you know, if it's a week later, and it's okay, but if it's a week later, they might have already found somebody or somebody else jumped in.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's excellent. Sandy, were you about to say something?
I was just going to say, you know, I think I was reading through some of the chat, and I think as Mary Thomas mentioned something about it's a great way when you start communicating, not only to have maybe to get them to ask you for a sale, to add them to your email list and to start them becoming more part of your DNA than just on social, but including them in your email. And that's a great way to if they're not ready to buy today, they might tomorrow.
Yeah, and I would add to that. I actually teach my team, like, if someone's interested in anything, I don't send it to them on Messenger. I always essay, if you want to send me your email or phone number, I'd love to send you some information on that, because that way you have some piece of actual info on that customer you can put in your database, and then you can retarget them later, put some notes there. Always, again, you know, asking questions, it's so important. It's just so important.
So thank you so much. I just want to read some of these questions and have you answer them, particularly as the advisory council, because some of these, one is, hello, sorry, just joined the webinar. In Idalia Jones, my niche is sports travel, like golfing trips, NFL, college football, ski trips. Will you have any sports travel focus information? I'm going to let Michelle can answer that. As Shelby said, kudos to Michelle, who handles all of our content with our partners. She and her team do an amazing job. But the advisory council asked us just that. They said, can you give us some niche sports so that if I'm involved, niche posts. So you will be seeing that in the future, whether it's culinary, sports, luxury, wellness. Yes, the answer is yes to that. Then Tina asks, I'd love to take advantage.
Can I just intervene here for a minute?
Sure.
Just quickly on the sports aspect of it. I'm not saying specifically football, for example, but if you're into sports and booking sports, many of the supplier and inspirational posts you can customize. So for example, Formula One, it's all over the world. You see something on Japan, you look up Formula One, they've got one in June. So like you can interject it in many, many spaces that are already there to work with your niche.
Thank you, Michelle. Great answer.
But it's a great point, because I will go into like Scotland and go, hey, golfers, and just add it to the post, right? Because it's Scotland, right? So, you know, everybody knows. So you can look at it. There's stuff you can use right now. You just have to be it's going to take a little bit more work, but it'll still happen.
Yeah.
Then Tina asked, I'd love to take advantage of the email marketing, but since I am just starting, I don't have a contact list. Any suggestions on how to build a contact list? I think you all touched upon that, but please add anything.
You have one. Everybody knows at least 250 people. So, you know, I wouldn't necessarily put people who are testy or, or wouldn't like getting email. If it's somebody that complains about getting too much email, maybe not put them on your list. But literally, I start with, my personal email, and I go through and I go, that person should be on my email list. That person should be on my email list. And so you've got some. And then just as Shelby and Denise and Sandy have said, when people reach out to you on Facebook, don't be afraid to say, hey, can I grab your email address, or would you like to be part of my newsletter?
Yeah, that's about if I would you, that's a big one for us in sales. If I would send you this, would you, if you send me your email, I will send you XYZ. So it's not so direct, because people like that indirect approach seems, those are all great ideas. Another thing I would mention are being able to ask, you can go on your Facebook business page and just ask, and just say, hey, who would like to get on my VIP list? Because I'm going to send out all the specials I have once a month. Would you like to be on it? And then, you'll have a couple people that want some specials and want to be on the VIP list. Another hack that's still allowed, it seems, is when you have a Facebook group, if you're building a group, which, most of you, if you're serious about this business, should have one at least group, whatever niche you want to be in. You can ask in the questions, if you'd like to get on our VIP list, please put your email here, and then you would copy and paste that and start your little email list. And hey, just celebrate the wins, man. You get 4 email addresses. Yes, 5, 10. That's how it starts. That's the real deal. That's not the guru that tells you that they, can explode your business tomorrow. This is real life. We're talking. So that's
okay.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, Shelby, I think it's important because you've mentioned it, all of you have mentioned it about gurus in the industry and really somebody who understands travel. So I do think it's important to point out that our CEO and founder, Mike Drever, he actually started a travel agency in Vancouver and built it into 174 locations known as cruise ship centers. So he understood what travel advisors need. And by the way, he then sold it to Expedia. So Cruise Ship Centers by Expedia was really his company. So he was the one once the internet came out, and Facebook in particular, founded this with some partners because he understood what travel advisors needed. And the most thing that you needed was to stay in touch with your clients, but you didn't have the time to do it, which is why this is an automatic social media for you. Somebody asked about Instagram. It will be coming in July. So that is coming as well. So where the people behind this, go ahead, Philip.
Right now, your business page, you can have your business page post photos to Instagram. So my content on my business page, because Facebook owns Instagram, also posts to my Instagram if it's the appropriate format. So some of them will repost.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Well, another question about posts, Philip, it's to you from Donna Barnes. Philip, can you ask some fun questions when you customize the post? In other words, can you be fun with your client?
Absolutely. And I'm all about fun. So I don't believe in doing anything that's not fun. And I also think that you can post pictures of your dog and your food still. They're totally relevant and they'll get way more hits. But absolutely be fun. The most important thing that people need to get from your post is your personality. So if you read a post and you go, that's a beautiful picture, and that is not what would come out of my mouth, just change it, just edit it and put what would come out of your mouth. Or I usually use a combination because y'all do such a great job of writing the post that I usually might just have to tweak a word here or there. But yeah, be cheeky, be fun. You will get more play out of something fun and cheeky than you will out of being serious all the time. So, they know that you're serious about business already, or they wouldn't be following you. They need to see your personality. So let it shine through. That's what people like to do business with people they know, they like, and they trust. And you really need to just focus on that. If you don't let people know you, they can't like you, they can't trust you, they can't know, you're just an influencer, you're just a Kardashian. And let's face it, nobody's going to go, buy travel from them, hopefully.
Denise?
Yeah, I just want to add real quick, playing off of Philip, because all of us are all about the fun. Maybe it's where we're at in life. I don't really know, but it is all about the fun. And I love to me, this every day I send out birthday wishes. So whoever's birthday it is, I send out, sometimes it's on an actual video of me and I send it to them and I make their day, or it's a voice message or whatever it is. So don't forget, parallel to all of this is doing exactly what we're saying, is show them who you are, show them what your life is about. It isn't all consuming travel, but you will find other things that become relatable that also spins off to their friends. So it is about, weaving in a variety of ways. But birthday messages, I've been doing them for 8 years now. People love it. A lot of them will say, "You used to be a DJ. I love your voice," and whatever. Like, I'm just saying, have fun, because it is more than just getting all caught up with it. When you just let it down and have fun, it flows.
Well, tell them
So
about
true.
the algorithm, Denise, too, because you know the algorithm in this respect. When you make that birthday message to them, what's going to happen? They're going to see
Oh,
your
yeah.
news feed. And so your
Yeah.
news feed might be a BranchUp post that you cross promoted or copy and pasted because you didn't have time
Exactly.
and you were just like, this was good. Let me just throw it up on my personal page, and so that creates that algorithmic juice that, the gurus all talk about. And that's so authentic and it's so nice. I mean, why
Yeah.
wouldn't you want to say happy birthday to someone that you know? I mean, it just makes sense.
How you build your followers. Great information. Michelle, are there any other questions that the panel has not answered?
No,
I did see, go ahead.
no. Go.
I did see one about one of our cruise line partners, joining and not having another platform. And I think all the panelists here would tell you, we just like the travel agencies don't compete. We're not worried about other social media platforms at BranchUp, because we do know we have one differentiator, and that is we do the automatic posts. Nobody else does that. And that we are able to customize it and send a newsletter. So some companies just want to have their own platform for their own reasons. And, we can't help that. And we wish them great success, but we know we have a huge differentiator. So we're not worried about other platforms, to answer that question that somebody asked.
And try
Anything
it.
else, Mich?
Go ahead and
I
try
mean-
those platforms. I'm on multiple platforms, and the one that I use the most is this one because it's the most time efficient for me. So it doesn't mean I'm not using other platforms, and we don't want to discourage you. We want you to build your business the way you want to, but we also know time and business, time and money.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
Michelle?
BranchUp is very much one-stop shopping. All done.
Any other questions in the chat room or the Q&A room? I think we
share my
covered
dirty little-
everything. I do want to make a comment because Shelby, you brought up about the $82,000 booking. Philip brought up about Image Tours, where he got a booking and he didn't know the company, but he researched it and sold it. Sandy, love your idea about sharing your content, over to your own website about Virgin, because you have a group and you're probably going to get more from your Facebook page to join that group. Somebody in the chat room said they just booked 32 people with Carnival based on our post. So I do want to ask everyone in the chat room, we are getting business, and we know that because our subscribers tell us. But if you have made a booking recently or in the last 6 months because of the post, feel free to just write us in the chat room and we'll feature you in our newsletter, because it is about relationships and engagement both ways. As our panelists told you, they want engagement, but they know they have to engage with you as well. But ultimately, you're in business to make money. So we ultimately want to turn that into sales, and we hope that we're helping. So let us know if we are. Any last words from our panelists? We have 1 minute left, so you each have 15 seconds.
I would love to share my dirty little secret. So my dirty little secret is, I do schedule edit my post and my things like that. But when I'm liking and responding to post, and I'm just going to let y'all know this, but I'm typically at the doctor's office waiting to go in for an appointment, or I'm at a red light and I could possibly be in the bathroom. So this does not have to be something that you schedule 4 hours a day for. You should make an hour a week, and then when you've got time, it's little bits of time, because you do it on your phone. That's
TMI.
I just say you guys can always connect with me on social. I believe in all of you. I don't really believe in competition with travel because we don't know the same people. So you're gonna get who you want to get, and copy before you create, right? You don't have to do this reinvent the wheel. BranchUp is doing most of the work for you. You can copy, utilize this technology. You can copy things that I do. Any true professional is not going to be offended by you copying. They're going to be very flattered, actually, because imitation is the most sincerest form of flattery. And all of us know where we stand and we know our worth. And I think I can speak for everybody here saying that we all want to help you. That is why we are here. We are here to help the industry as a whole. And we love social and we know it works.
Thank you so much. Sandy and then Denise.
Yeah, I would just say that it's for a lot of people, we tend to focus on what we like. And a lot of people, if this is uncomfortable for you, this is a great opportunity to get comfortable with it, and maybe take in some of these tips and go into it a little bit. And you can get great responses. So you don't have to be overwhelmed. And no, this may not be your unique ability, but with this tool, it can help you have really professional content and be able to help your businesses. So I would just say it's sometimes a very overwhelming concept when you talk about social media. If you're not comfortable with it, this is a great way to get into it. It's a great gateway place to start, and then start layering it. And what you're doing today, you can reflect 6 months. Oh, wow, look what I'm doing now. I've started doing my LinkedIn, and now they've got Reels. Well, what's that? Let's learn about that. So you're not alone out there, because we're all wanting to the same goal.
Thank you so much. And it's important to note that what our council told us is BranchUp is their marketing team. Consider us your marketing team that you don't have to pay for because of the wonderful partner suppliers we have that are, helping us provide this content to you. So think of us as a department in your business, as you said, your YOU. Denise, last words, and thank you, everyone.
Absolutely. I'm just going to say, have fun, love on yourselves, be bold, be consistent, give yourself space and grace. Every day is something different, but believe in yourself. And we are all here. We're one team. And I absolutely am so grateful for everyone who has joined, as well as the comments that you've made. Thank you, BranchUp, to Anne-Marie, to my colleagues, to Michelle. It's been great. And again, just be the CEO of YOU.
I love that. Thank you, Michelle. I'm sorry. Did you have anything? I don't want to not include you. Okay.
What could I possibly say after all that?
I know everybody's going to leave here so positive. Go have a glass of wine.
Yeah. Oh no, that'd
Thank you.
be day
And
drinking.
sell
Too soon for
something.
day drinking.
And sell something.
while
Thank
you're
you.
doing it.
Thank you so much. You really are all so smart, so insightful, so gracious, and so selfless in sharing all